What's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Crystal and this is Bond Book Reviews, and today we're going to be jumping into whether or not I passed Buzzwordathon 2022. If you're unfamiliar with what Buzzwordathon is, it is the challenge that is run for the year long by Books and Lala. I'll have the challenge for 2023 linked down below, and I will have in the cards above my TBR of hopefuls for 2023's challenge. I will also have my 2022 hopeful TBR as well if you want to go check that out from last year to check out what the challenge was. But without further ado, let's jump into whether or not I passed Buzzwordathon 2022 and which books I read to help me pass or fail. So in January, the prompt was the 5 W's. Who, what, where, when, why. Yeah, who, what, where, when, why. And I screwed that up in 2022 when I filmed this too. And for this, I read a graphic novel called When the Stars Are Scattered by Victoria Jameson and Omar Mohammed. And this is a heartbreaking graphic novel about growing up in a refugee camp. And it is told from the perspective of a Somali refugee and him and his non-verbal brother. It tells their story and it's quite heartbreaking, but it has like grains of humor like mixed through it. So I really liked this one. February, the challenge was pronouns. And for this, I read Marley and Me by John Grogan. And of course, I actually cried during a live reading sprint reading this. Loved this book. It was phenomenal. 5 stars all around. You know it was 5 stars because it was a book about a dog. I mean, every book that is either from a dog's perspective or about a dog I love, except for Lily and the Octopus, but we just don't talk about that book anymore. March was a book with a location in it, and for this I read Sunset Springs by Casey and Calendar. This is a really cool short, I think it's about 3-hour long Audible exclusive audiobook which follows the story of 2 male characters, one of whom is Black and trans, and he has to leave his job in New York City and return to his small town where no one knows that he has made the transition, and he's worried about how they will approach the situation. Instead, he meets someone that knew him pre-transition and they create a friendship, and then the rest is history. It is very cute, very quick, very well done in terms of representation, and I can definitely recommend if you're after a quick audiobook and you do have access to Audible. April, we had to read a book that had little or big in the title, and I kind of twisted this and did Small Steps by Louis Seisha because it was words that were like little or big kind of situation, so small to me kind of fits that. And this was a really disappointing sequel to one of my favorite books as a child. So yeah, let's just pretend it doesn't exist in my eyes. Holes by Louis Seisha is a standalone. May was directional words, and for this I picked a really quick graphic novel to finish purely to hit this prompt because I was freaking out near the end of the month and didn't have anything. And that was Upside Down, A Vampire Tale by Jess Smiley, I think it is. And yeah, it's just a quick one that I picked. I couldn't even tell you what it was about. June was the word all, and for this I read All the Lives by St. Abbey, which was part of the Mindfuck series, which 5 stars all round. Read this series if you are remotely looking for a dark romance. I will say though that this is so much more than a romance. There is so much plot, and the revenge arc in this is just phenomenally done. July was books with a book-related word in the title, and for this one I read The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. This was probably not my favorite from Simone St. James, but it was still, you know, good. It just didn't give me the same level of chills as her other ones that I have read. August was a book that had an item or object in it, so for this I read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, and this one was a surprise. I have heard this is one of Riley Sager's favorites. Like, a lot of people love this from him. I was not a fan. The ending, I need more people to finish it so they can talk to me about this ending and whether or not they predicted it, because I was so far off and so many people have been like, oh, I figured it out. And I'm like, I did not figure it out. So I need more people to read it so that I can figure out if I'm just like stupid or if it's not as obvious as it's meant to be. September was Light and Dark. And for this, I read The Light After the War by Anita Abriel. This is a phenomenal historical fiction. I gave this 5 stars. It was in my top 10 of the year. And it tells the story, a true story of the author's grandmother's story. So that made it even more special because she did it such good justice. And it is the story of a survivor of Auschwitz. And it was fantastically done. October was a book with an animal or creature in the title, and for this I read The Raven by Edgar Allan Poe. And to summarize, my quote was, "What the F did I just read?" Yeah, it's not my cup of tea. November was books with ing, so ing, ending somewhere in the title, and for this I read Anything But Fine by Tobias Madden. Tobias is a genius, a lovely human, and him and his partner are relationship goals. This book was the perfect level of LGBTQ representation, cute, romance, friendship, and it just like made you smile. So if you're looking for a YA that has that perfect level of cuteness, this is 100% what I recommend. And December was a book that had a number in the title, and for this I read The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. This was my first 5-star read and 100% top 10 book of the year. It was, however, the first book that I read for the year. So did I read these in order? No, I did not. Do I still count it as a pass? Yes, I do, because I vaguely remember, can't remember what year it was, but Kayla said, doesn't matter what order you read it in, as long as you read something to hit each prompt. So I'm counting this as a pass for Buzzwordathon for 2022 because I did complete all the prompts through the books that I read throughout the year. I may not have read them in the month I was meant to read them in, but I did it. So let me know in the comments if you participated in 2022, if you're participating in 2023, if you think I passed, and if any of these books are on your radar, or if you've read them and loved them. And if you don't have a comment to leave and you want to drop something, drop a crow emoji in the comments. Is there a crow? Raven? I don't know. Drop a bird emoji. I don't really care. Just leave me something to say hey, because I would love to have you drop a comment. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel because I would love to have you join the fam. Give this video a big thumbs up. And until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend and happy reading. Bye.